So hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and today we're going to check out the final augment from update 20.7 Transistor Shield. Now this is an augment for Volt's electric shield, and it does two things once again. Number one, it allows your allies to pick the shield up and use it as a riot shield, and number two, it adds all the damage absorbed by the shield to your passive, which can store up to 1000 extra electric damage, which will be released the next time you deal damage. And this augment is available either by reaching the rank of Maxim under the Arbiters of Hexes or the rank of Exalted under the Red Veil and spending 25,000 standing, and if you don't have either of these two syndicates, you can just buy it from other players. Now, Volt's shield is really good because it has unlimited health, so it doesn't matter how many enemies are firing into the shield, you're not going to take any damage assuming you're hidden behind the shield. Now, the ability to pick the shield up was added with his rework, which is a really nice addition because it meant you could actually use it outside of light defense or mobile defense. You could pick it up and run through an exterminate mission with it as well. But it came at a price because the shield would also have a static energy drain, plus it would drain more energy if you moved around. It also restricts you to using your secondary and melee weapon. You can't use a primary weapon if you're holding the shield, and it slows you down. And this doesn't just apply to movement, it applies to parkour as well. So you can't bullet jump as high or as far, and you're not going to roll as far either. Now, the augment, as I've said already, allows everyone to pick it up, not just Volt, which is once again something that I feel should have been a part of the ability in the first place, but it also takes all the damage your shields absorb and adds it to your passive, and this works for all shields across the board. It's not just your shield or the shields your allies are holding, it also works for the shields you just plop on the ground. Now, your passive caps out at 1000 damage, so you can't go beyond that, but that's more than enough damage, especially since it gets applied to the weapon before all mods. So if you're using a weapon that can regularly crit or even red crit, you're gonna get far more than just 1000 damage. And it gets easier and easier to stack the damage as you go up in levels, because enemies start doing more and more damage to a point where at around level 100, the stronger enemies start doing enough damage to cap you out with one blocked shot, which means your damage output is going to skyrocket assuming you're using your shield effectively. So everything is nice and dandy, right? Well, not quite. I did a crap ton of missions with this augment. I even did yesterday's sorties with it, including the Sargas Rook assassination, which is always a pain in the arse. And if I didn't forget about it, I told people that I have the augment and they can pick the shield up. And they did, for about the first 2 or 3 minutes. But then they stopped, for whatever reason, and I had no idea why. Until I found out that if someone else picks up the shield, it reverts back to its original stats. So it's going to drain 5 energy every second, plus 1 energy for every meter they travel, meaning that it's unsustainable for more than just a couple of seconds. It just drains your energy way too fast. So for the vast majority of setups, it's better to just stand behind the shield than to pick it up. Now, this is not a deal breaker, it just means your allies can't run around with the shield like you can, especially if you have high efficiency or you're using the Xeneric passive ability, which allows you to actually generate energy even if you're holding the shield. But it does allow them to hold the shield for a limited amount of time, and if necessary, they can pick up the shield and plop it somewhere else. This turns the augment from more of a support-focused one to a more selfish damage-dealing one. Which is alright in my book, because Volt has enough supportive stuff. It's nice to see him get some damage as well. I mean, you can just put the shield down, which will protect your allies. You have Discharge with mass crowd control, and you can add Capacitance to that as well, which will grant overshields. You have Shock Trooper, which is going to add electric damage to your allies, and you have Speed, which is going to speed everyone up. So even though this was probably meant to be a support augment that adds a little bit of damage, I would use it more as a selfish augment that just increases your damage. If I want to go for more support, I'm probably gonna go back to my Battlemate setup, which is using Capacitance and got a lot better with the addition of Primed Vigor and Sylvan Aegis Prime. I truly believe that people will build squads around this augment and they will do great things because of it, but for generally just faffing around, and running puppy squads, this is more of a damage increase than anything else. And that's pretty much it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching as always, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.